types of mosquitoes. There's the Aegypti, which is the Zika, and then there's the Anophelines, which are the malaria mosquitoes. He's absolutely right. The one thing I mentioned is the Wolbachia thing, which is ready for prime time. It could be rolled out in parts of Brazil or Puerto Rico as soon as we get regulatory approval. This gene drive thing where you can actually drop the populations, we think in a couple of years that will be ready. And the regulatory pathway for that is unclear. Now, people don't eat mosquitoes much, and mosquitoes are not, these particular species of mosquitoes are a very small percentage of mosquitoes and not key to like bat populations or anything. So I almost, I have to always show respect for people who think it's a scary thing to do. I don't think it will be. I think the way we're doing the construct will make it a very key tool for malaria eradication. But how we get approval for that, because it's a very novel thing, is pretty open-ended. So predicting when that'll get deployed, I would deploy it 2 years from now.
Risk of a dangerous virus spread by mosquitoes has 4 towns west of Boston, Massachusetts, urging residents to stay indoors after dark until at least October. Now, according to a local report, the town of Oxford says it doesn't have the funds to spray away the potentially deadly pests. Get more now from CBS's Tiffany Chan.
Oxford, Massachusetts, and 3 neighboring towns have a reason for concern as mosquitoes carrying a potentially deadly virus called Eastern Equine Encephalitis, or Triple E, infected a resident who is now fighting for his life.
We don't want to see another human case of Triple E this year.
The rare but dangerous disease can cause swelling in the brain. There's no treatment and anyone can get infected. The death rate is as high as 30%.
Even if you do survive, usually there are long-term significant health impacts, neurological impacts.
Oxford has been declared a critical risk for Triple E, prompting health department officials to recommend a 6 p.m. curfew for outdoor activities, including club sports.
Along the Northeast, unleash an attack on mosquitoes from the air and streets. Health officials in Wisconsin confirming 2 people have now died in that state from West Nile virus. This morning, nearly 290 cases reported across more than 30 states. The mosquito-transmitted illness accounting for 100 to 200 deaths each year. In Missouri, 18-year-old John Proctor VI, now on a ventilator, contracting the disease early this month. His parents say symptoms started with headaches and dizziness, then spiraled into vomiting, disorientation, and a dangerous fever.
And to see him lethargic and struggle to do simple basic functions, it's hard. The doctors describe this as a marathon to beat this virus since there's no actual cure for it.
Many who get West Nile may not ever feel sick, but 1 out of every 150 people infected may develop serious, even fatal illness. And this morning, concern about another rare but potentially lethal mosquito-borne virus, Triple E, with 6 people sickened in at least 5 states.
Shalom, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise and honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakah Quadash. I want to give double honors to the apostles, the elders of Great Millstone, the men that taught us this truth, this 100% truth, the true way of worshiping the Heavenly Father and His Son. I want to say peace and salutation to you hopeful elect out there. Shalom. This is your brother Thamayim, coming from the GMS Memphis camp, back with another lesson, and I hope this lesson be edifying to the elect. Let's get into it. Here we go again with Bill Gates, or should I say Kill Gates. He back at it again with another one, DJ Khaled. He been talking about this GMO mosquitoes for the longest, how he wanted to release it to the population, saying it's good for their benefits. But we know anything that these devils do, it's not to benefit the people. It's for to cause chaos, destruction. Because this is what these devils do. They create a problem, they get a reaction from the people, and they come up with a solution. And a solution be just as worse as the problem that they created. So let's get into this article about this, the mosquitoes on the loose, this West Nile virus. So this is from the Natural News, and it said the COVID, monkeypox, and now West Nile virus. The election virus fear-mongering continues. The election day is just a few short months away, which means the times has once again come for the government authorities and the media to start their fear-mongering campaign about the latest election virus to hit the streets, West Nile virus. End of August and early September is usually when the mosquitoes population really start to explode across the more human areas of country, including the New York City, where city officials have begun spraying the streets with chemical has mitigation. It said, thanks to the Wuhan COVID-19 pandemic, some cities and towns are even launching voluntary curfews and lockdown order as a way to try to mitigate the perceived threats of the West Nile virus. The towns of Plymouth in Massachusetts, for instance, posted a notice that its jurisdiction is at high risk for the spread of mosquito-borne disease like the West Nile. As such, residents and visitors are being told to stay home after dark in order to stay safe. Now this sounds like 2020 all over again, when the COVID had came to America. To stay home after dark. It said, please be advised that there is a ban effect for all outdoors activity between dusk and dawn. Read a sign posted in Plymouth. It said the West Nile virus has now been reported in 33 states across the U.S. And yes, that number 33 makes another appearance. In response, outdoor public areas has been shut down and voluntary curfews are in place. Again, sound like 2020 all over again. Curfews. It's a certain time you got to be outside. Activities that you do, they shut all that down. Like you couldn't even play basketball at a certain time. Like they'll shut it down. So we seeing another lockdown is going to take place. And we've been telling you Israelites another shutdown is coming. Whether it's by this monkeypox or the another COVID or this mosquito virus that's going around. It don't matter what it is, another shutdown is coming, another lockdown is coming, whether you Israelites like it or not, whether you believe it or not. Let's keep reading. It said the powers that have been talking about unleashing a second pandemic, complete with NATO policy forces mandating global vaccine. I don't want to say, the word, just throw the algorithm off. Esau, he'll give you a strike just for saying a word. It said, how many elections virus will they push? Well, monkeypox, the mpox also making headlines. It would seem as though the race is on to see which election virus stick as the one to upend normal voting day procedures and turn it into another COVID like mass hysteria events to provide cover for the election thieves to do their thing. It said the media is still talking about the latest strains of the COVID too, with the FDA having just approved yet another vaccine for the dread virus. So we are witnessing the emergence of a potential fatal alerting trio of virusing taking center stage as election day approaches. As for the West Nile virus, the claim is that 33 states, 33 is a powerful number, and the occult are now threatened by its spreads. Is this true? Or is it simply a code meant to deceive the world as the string pullers angle the country towards destruction? There is actually a fourth virus the media is talking about that is also said to be a threat. The Eastern, I ain't going to even try to pronounce that. I'm going to just let the Google female pronounce that. Esau got these big viruses name. I just going to call it the EEE.
Eastern equine encephalitis.
The Eastern equine encephalitis. It said the Eastern equine encephalitis, EEE, is an extremely rare but serious and often fatal infection that causes encephalitis or inflammation of the brain. It is spread by the bite of a mosquito infected with the EEE virus. Can also infect a wide range of animals, including mammals, birds, reptiles, and whatever the hell the other animal is. So we know who's behind this. Evil E. Coming up with all these viruses, all these diseases. We know they behind this. The elites. They trying to bring forth this great reset. And what's best? Bringing a disease, bringing a virus that can reset the economy. So they use these diseases, these viruses to bring forth their agenda. It says there is actually a fourth virus the media is talking about that is also said to be threat. The Eastern equine encephalitis, or EEE. A handful of towns across Massachusetts have imposed voluntary lockdowns to address that alleged threat. It said desperation continues, wrote someone on X about all these viruses and diseases fear-mongering. They have to stop people from going out to vote come November. Man, you ain't got no business voting anyway, man. Come on. It's 2024. You still voting, especially you Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native American. You don't need to be voting. You need to stay your ass in the house. When you start seeing niggas coming out looking like a Star Crunch from that monkeypox, they're gonna keep your ass in the house from voting. It said another brought up the fact that the billionaire eugenic Bill Gates released a general modified GMO mosquitoes into a natural environment on several occasions over the years. Could this new West Nile virus scare be a product of all that? Where there's a pandemic, there's Bill Gates. Where there's a pandemic, there's Bill Gates. There's no lie. This nigga, Bill Gates, all of a sudden, he has the cure to all these viruses that come to America. But it's the same nigga that couldn't cure Microsoft. Like, come on, man. You'll be a damn fool to put your trust in this devil. But we all know that the Lord controlling these devils, to bring forth his kingdom. So at the end of the day, all these plagues, all these pestilence that Esau, Edom bring forth to America, hey, it's the Lord, controlling these devils. So the Lord using these devils to bring forth, his agenda at the end of the day. So I got one precept. Let's start at 3. This is Matthew chapter 24, verse 3. And as he sat upon the Mount Olives, who is that he is referring to, Yahushua? The disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the signs of thy coming and the end of the world? So the disciples was requiring about the end of the world. What shall be the signs? Now this end of the world is not talking about like the world is going to end, how Esau put it, the so-called white man. It's talking about an end of an age, an end of a rulership. Because Esau is the end of the world and Jacob is the beginning of it that follow. So this is what the disciples was asking Yahushua about. It said, and Yahushua answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am a Mashiach, the anointing, and shall deceive many. And we seen in these last days, perilous time, false prophets are on the scene, deceiving many of you Israelites. Verse 6, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. And we hearing about wars. We seeing the wars taking place. Letting you know we living in some evil times. And these are signs. It says, see that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. So these things must come to pass. For our kingdom can be established. This kingdom got to go down. Esau's kingdom. And we seeing that this kingdom circling down the drain. For all nations shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. There shall be famines and pestilence. Let's go into this word pestilence. I had it pulled up. This is pestilence, a fatal epidemic disease, especially bubonic plague. It said plague, bubonic plague, disease, contagion, infection, sickness, epidemic. So the Lord letting you know that these things are going to be happening in the end time. These are signs when you start to see, wars going on, kingdom going against kingdom, nation rising up against nation, famine, pestilence, and they got an S on this pestilence. So it's letting you know it's going to be multiple pestilence, multiple diseases, infections, and viruses that going to be taking place in the end times. It is said in earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. So all these are the beginning of sorrows, misery, suffering, grief, regret. So these are the times that you need to be paying attention. You need to be measuring the time diligently, because things are happening every second, every moment, and you need to be paying attention. You need to be circumspect, looking around you, paying attention to what is going on, because you don't want to get caught up in the destruction that's coming to America. So that's all I had, yo. Hey, I hope this lesson was edifying to the elect. Hey, shalom.
Let's take a look. First, we've got population. The world today has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%. But there we see an increase